I look at you with your name and number? Hang on. Not too far. Excellent work. It's really, really strong speech for the prepared. I think the first thing that you could do is you could just like cross off the first couple of lines. So like really good speech writing, like when you're in year 4 and you're like writing an excellent speech for the first time, you tend to like write the topic and then you say the topic again, and that's kind of just how you start. But like now you're a good speechwriter, you're like a regional finalist, so you have to start in like more exciting ways. So instead of like going, racism hurts everyone, racism hurts everyone because it hurts their feelings. Just cross off those two lines and go, so imagine. Does that make sense? Kind of like leap right in there with the story so that people are like immediately, wow, what's she talking about? Instead of like, yeah, that is the topic because I heard the chairperson say it. Does that make sense? So really try to be like really cool at the beginning. It just meant that you started a little bit slowly.
Which is the most sense?
I think the best part of your speech is the way that you did that weird, quirky, like sciencey stuff and showed how that made racism look so dumb. I think that was just perfectly developed. And that's the kind of thing that we meant when we said, like, try not to just talk about big ideas endlessly, but have that one thing that you expand on and explain. It doesn't have to be a personal story, it doesn't have to be a joke. It could be like a minute of really cool, weird science to go with it, because I like sciencey people anyway. So I think that section worked really, really well. I think it was good. I think that you could probably still add that little bit of personally stuff. So maybe a bit of a story or something that you've observed so we know you a little bit more. Or even just say, for instance, somewhere along the way, I'm a huge science nerd. So this is what I've discovered about science, and then talk about it just a little bit more personal that way. I think the other thing that you and a lot of folks here could do is make sure that you're not just, this is going to sound like, well, I'll explain it afterwards. Make sure you're not just whinging. So kids your age are excellent whingers, and your parents will be able to tell you this. And they can like figure out what's wrong with the world really, really well. And you do a really good job of that. All the reasons why it's just, you know, flat out stupid to be racist, all the problems it causes. I think the last third of your speech, and a lot of kids' speeches, would be better if you maybe just focused on what we call a call to arms. And that's speechwritery talk for tell people what to go and do. You know, so give them a few things that they can practically go and do to fix this stuff. Does that make sense? So now that you know about science, if you hear someone being an idiot in the playground, explain to them how dumb it is to fight about melanin. And now, does that make sense? So tell people what to go and do. I think you have a more powerful ending. Is that cool? So with your impromptu, you're one of those people who has excellent, excellent ideas and just needs to expand it. So the thing that I like most about yours is that moment where you're like, thinking big is the way to overcome your fears. And like, so you've come up with this genius idea